Hey guys, just wanted to do a little showcase on my 75-gallon African cichlid tank. I'm just going to be slowly going through all my tanks, making a video on each one, as well as progress on other tanks. So this is a 75-gallon fish tank. Got on Facebook Marketplace for $150. Had some guppies in it, which I turned into a different breeding colony and used them as feeders for quite a bit. But turned this tank into a African cichlid tank. I had this empty for quite a bit of time with some Oscars that I was growing out for a little bit and miscellaneous other fish. I just would kind of fill this up. I had about half this amount of African cichlids in here in a 55-gallon tank, and they were good, but once I really decided I wanted to make a saltwater tank, I decided to give these guys the upgrade to the 75 and turn the 55 into a saltwater tank. So there's 29 cichlids in here as far as I've counted. The other day I had 30, but unfortunately one of them jumped through one of the cracks in the lids. It's only about a 1-inch gap, and he jumped out. I don't know why. He was acting a little funky swimming at the top, but he ended up jumping out. He had a big fat belly and was all good, but comes with it. I gotta just fix my tops, I guess, and make sure there's no gaps at all. But I bought 12 of these guys off Facebook from a aquarium group I'm in. I think it was like $60 for the 12 of them, and he was moving. There's a few different baby yellow ones that came, and he doesn't know where they were, what the breeding pair was, but they bred and had those babies in his tank. So we'll see if they breed in here. And I'm not really trying to breed anything. I'd rather just add select fish as I find them at the pet store, the ones that I like. They say with a 75-gallon tank, you should be able to stock half that, which is about 35 fish, give or take a couple, depending on their size. You got some full-grown ones you probably want to keep it on the lower end, but right here I have 29 in here. They've been living together for a few weeks, all good. You know, they're African cichlids, so they chase each other around. But as long as one single fish isn't getting targeted and they're all taking turns with chasing each other, you'll see one gets chased and then chases another one. But it's awesome with these guys. They have an awesome feeding response. Love coming up and just sitting here watching it. I do want to talk about how I got into the setup. So this is called Dragonstone. All this rock work is Dragonstone. You know, I was buying pieces for $25 for a big piece and about $8 for a small piece. So, you know, I just slowly kept adding to it, and I'm still going to keep buying pieces as I find bigger pieces and pieces that I think would add to this tank. But I don't want to take away all the swimming space because they do like to swim in that mid to top water range and have that open water. So as far as the substrate, I have some Caribsea African cichlid pH boosting substrate in black. There's some little white dots that come in it that just settled down. I did a 40% water change on this tank earlier today beforehand. These guys always are good with the water changes. They have a nice setup where I have their power head right here to give some flow to the tank, and that blows out, which they like, because I never had one of those for many of my tanks, but now I think I'm going to add some of them, because in tanks where I don't have a filter or any kind of flow, you know, they just kind of sit around, and, you know, they do like the flow. So I got two those sponge filters for 55-gallon tanks. They've been running in here. I got a heater for, let's say, I think it does 55 gallons, but this has been doing great in here. I have no problems heating it, and I have it all set up so I can just drain the water to just above the skimmer. So once I hear that going, I know to make sure to pull my hose out and stop draining it and start to fill it. But these guys are pretty cool. They're beautiful to sit here and just watch. But give a little update on my 125. I have it all sealed and just curing the silicone. I did get my bulkheads in from Aquarium Co-op. Did find out that there is actually a sizing chart on their website, so I just didn't look hard enough. But I had searched around and nobody really talks about it. But I bought some 3/4 inch bulkheads for a 1.5 inch hole, and then I just ordered 2 1-inch bulkheads for a 1.75 inch hole. So that way, once those 2 come in, they should be here by Sunday. Today's Thursday, Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a good one. And I'm gonna be able to plug these, get it all set up, and then slowly start filling it. Probably Sunday if they come, or Monday, and we'll see how they go. I hope that it ends up holding. I have no problem. I'll clean it and be able to start putting my substrate in, get the water in there, put some plants, and start that process with a 125 piranha tank. I'm excited to put them in. I also got a couple plants in and some of these grow root tabs. So there's 20 of them in there. Take that and sprinkle it around the tank. I don't normally add root tabs. Just when I have started adding a lot more plants, I'll throw some root tabs in there, and my plants have been all taken off with it. I have a little extra tank with some of my frogs in it that I've put a bunch of Java ferns in just to start growing, but I'll probably end up taking those, cleaning them, and then putting them in the 125 once I have that set up. I do have a CO2 tank with a regulator, and I did use it when I had a 55-gallon plated tank. It did help, but I didn't notice anything major. But maybe with the 125 and having more plants, I'll have that add that CO2, as well as probably another air pump. And I'm gonna end up buying a nice filter for that. Might get a FX4, FX6. Might take a little browse on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, but if you don't find anything up, probably just go to Petco and pick one up with a warranty, because I have an FX6 on one tank and an FX4 on another. And those filters have no problems. I can just clean them out every now and then. Every other month is my schedule with them, and every 2 weeks with water changes on those. But I do a 40% water change in this tank once a week or once every 2 weeks. I try to do weekly, but sometimes life gets the best of you and you don't have extra time. I always test their water, and with the amount of fish in here, I feed them well. Sometimes I feed them multiple times a day. I switch it up with some krill, some frozen shrimp. I give them tilapia. I also give them their cichlid pellets, but they eat everything. There's 2 plecos in here. One's a albino pleco, and then one's a yellow high-fin pleco, as well as a pictus catfish that likes to hide in the back. Let's see if we can get him. There's his whiskers back there, just hiding. It's not too bad. This tank's always pretty clear, especially with this amount of fish and just these 2 filters on here. I don't know, I've never had a huge experience with these type of sponge filters, but with this tank and some of my others, I've kind of grown to like. the simplicity of it, I'd just be able to plug in an air pump, give them oxygen in the water, as well as add some filterage to the tank. But I hope you guys have a good night and have a good Thanksgiving. This has been my 75-gallon African fish tank, African cichlid fish tank, and here we go.